What's good with y'all boys, YouTube, man? Ah, ah. Let me show y'all the anticipations for today. We have 10 a.m. news, then no news all week until Friday. Off rip, this week has at least two no trade days. Perfect because I'm behind on a few editing settings in my schedule. If you look at ES, we have no clear POI above the range on the daily time frame, weekly, or the hourly. That being said, when it comes to catching shorts, it's highly unlikely. We'll be looking for longs only if both assets trade into the levels that we have annotated inside the new week opening gap. We'll target previous day high, but the daily POI above it, or the daily POI above it, but we need to be nimble regardless. This is the only opportunity that I'm interested in. I want to be cautious of the daily that's not annotated on these charts. I will annotate it live, and because of that PD array, there is a possibility that I still don't participate. Shorts are highly unlikely, and without high volatility, to go with the longs, we very well could consolidate. So as y'all can see, like overnight, NQ has decided to reach into our range, and you know what? Let me try to speed up my computer real quick because we not doing this shit again. Pull up this activity monitor and shut this down. Shut this down. That should be good. We'll restart this. Much better. All right. So we are on the hourly. This is a PD array that I'll keep in mind. If ES does not reach into this POI here, I'm no longer interested. But peep out, NQ has already reached into our lower POI, and ES is nowhere to be found. It's close, but it's really not close enough. Like we want it to be closer. And let me just double check this. See what this is. So we're reaching all the way into the bottom of this new week opening gap, which is fun. I want to see if this candle will close inside of this 5-minute BISI though. And when it comes to ES, sure, technically we could long off of this, but I want to see us long off the most sensitive area inside of the new week opening gap. So I'll be waiting. I won't be shooting at it early. I won't anything like that. We have a decent amount of range up here for NQ. We have 10 a.m. news. I want to see if ES can reach down into this POI right here. Should we be able to do that while NQ stays around this range? We can work something out. Easy, we can work something out. No problem. Ain't nothing. But if not, no trade day. Strict program, buddy. Very strict program. Now with a bounce like that on ES, I'm going to expect NQ to either begin flying here soon, or we realistically don't have to go down there, but I want I want to see that. Let's see if the entry model is there. Entry model is 100% here. I can tell just by looking at this. Yeah, easily there. And you know what I'll do? And what I should have been done that I meant to do is have an eval that we trade alongside this. Because this would have been a good trade to take on the eval. But on the funded, I want to see the most grade A setup. And I want to see the POIs come. I want to see, you get what I'm saying, gang. I ain't gonna lie. No need for me to keep repeating myself. $50K in the day. Yo, should I do the 5-pack? Low-key, I might do the 5-pack here soon. When it comes to Apex, that's low-key the name of the game. But if I can, I'm gonna one-shot this challenge. Alright, Apex account is purchased. Now I'm simply waiting on the account to actually load in and allow me to use it. Cool, which is done. That's why you see that notification popping up right there. And shit. We got a super late entry. Super duper late entry. It would have been a much better entry if we would have already had the account. We would have been entering down here, and this account would have for sure been passed right now. But since that's not the case, I'll break it down like this. 200-point stop. Mad wild, I know. 2 cons, that's $800 risk. The area that I want to target, this is simple, but this is what I really want to see. This would halfway pass the account. Should begin to see higher off of this. And yeah. All good, bravo. What's going on, my guy? Right now, I just bought an eval. Just going for like a 1 to 2 on the eval. We didn't touch this on the funded because ES didn't reach into our level. So keeping the funded clean and saving it for grade A setups. But on this eval, we have no problem risking a good amount. This is a unicorn level. Yeah, should begin to see higher off of that. So the one thing that we have to be aware of right now is, and you'll notice, when it comes, unicorn model is basically a 2022 model, a silver bullet. You'll notice there's SMT on the highs. We're bearish in the logic of QT, so SMT on the highs should begin the true expansion lower. But you're going to see it's not going to happen. The true expansion lower is likely not going to happen today. It's not going to happen in this AM session. We could chop around, but, well, if we chop around, then we might not do anything. Because of the SMT on the highs, ES doesn't have a POI that offers enough resistance to truly short. We could come back down, which is why I didn't enter on the funded, yada yada. Either way, when there's SMT on the highs but there's no POI to support it, it makes, like, you can imagine it as the word, like, it makes things thicker for price, slightly more resistance. I don't see a short now, not until this new week opening gap. NQ's already damn near rebalanced the whole thing, so that would have been a perfect entry for the eval. We could have cooked up on some shit like this. But in reality, Bravo, I bought the eval right when we were up here. If I would have had it, our entry would have been like this. All good, I don't really care. ES literally has nowhere. And when we begin to travel up, like, this is the next thing that I'm looking at, but this is weak. It's a new week opening gap from the second week in July. It's weak though. 10 a.m. news, we'll see what it does. I'm at a point where I'm about to start stacking up these prop firms. Good morning, Tawa. I'm about to start stacking up these prop firms, so it's important that I'm not going broke. You get what I mean? These Apex accounts are $50. The legacy ones are $19. But I believe they're intraday trail and drawdown. What I really want to use is Take Profit Trader. But I want to pass the accounts quickly, and they have a consistency rule. So Apex is the cheapest prop firm up front. Something went wrong. So the real entry would have been exactly 387. Would have been right here. Would have looked like that. This is a tough low level right here. This is another unicorn level. So, like, Bravo, if you ever want to look into this. Unicorn level, silver bullet, 2022 model. Um, all of these things. This is the PD array that ICT was talking about, because in reality it's a collection of PD arrays. You have that SIBI, then you have that SIBI beat being rebalanced, and all of the PD arrays inside of that, which breaker, mitigation block, order block, whatever people want to call them. I typically only pay attention to breakers. See, that would have been a beautiful entry. Then we displaced through that level. Now, when 2022 mentorship model came out and it was blowing up and it was like the thing, people were calling this a market structure shift, which, yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be defined as a market structure shift. I don't define it strictly as a market structure. I don't define market structure shifts at all. But it's a PD array, and it is probably the most valiant one besides a literal volume imbalance, a true volume imbalance. So, and they really more exact than a volume imbalance. We're in a volume imbalance right now. Then we go to gap, consolidating through it. You see the rejections that happen from this, and it happens all the time. There's another one here, right inside of here. Well, we're on 5-6. We got this. Ain't as clean this time, but it's there, bro. It's always there. Now, imagine you get this on the 1 hour, and that's how I keep pitching it to this camera. You get this on a 1 hour, and you have a filthy move, and you can literally just seek this out. Anything that you got going on, you could just seek this out right here. SIBI, rebalance, displace through, tap back into it. Tap back into it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, fat dog, what is you doing, man? What are y'all looking at for today? Hyper Scout. Whoa, what's that? Hyper Scout. That sound like some crazy shit. How do you define high margin, bro? Like, what are you looking for? Yo, notice how we're playing around at this level. Looks like to me we're waiting on 10 a.m. news. But we'll likely take off. When 10 a.m. news comes out, it may dip back down. And if it does, once it dips back up, I'll be changing my stop loss to wherever to look at that smackdown. We're literally being held in this range right now. We're waiting for 10 a.m. news. I'm going to change my stop loss to the low of the 10 a.m. news. 50 to 100 points. What are you going for, like a 1 to 10 though? Is that what you mean by like high margin hyperscale? It's possible today. Likely won't have another um, day worth participating in for a day or so, maybe 2 days. I feel like if you go high margin, then you should go. I don't know, bro. I don't know exactly how you trade. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you do the right thing, bro. Your gut and your soul knows what the right thing is for you. I was nothing special but fast. I was talking to Brandon, and he was telling me how he was watching a certain trader. I don't know if I want to name drop him. I intend on growing on this channel, but he was watching a certain trader trade live, or yeah, and he said he was going on tilt so bad that it made him physically sick, and he could no longer watch the live. And for some reason, when you say that hyper scalp, that's what it sounds like. Because when I used to go on tilt, bro, I would have, in this consolidation alone, I would have closed and entered like 5 times. I can tell you right now, I probably would have tried to enter here and saw us coming down here, closed it, came to this level, entered again, saw us coming down here, closed it, saw us leaving, entered again. I would have got up here, came down here, closed it. Like, in reality, it's so easy to not do that. But I can imagine when you going for hyper scalps. I can't say, I can't speak on it, bro. If it's fast, it means that, yo, there's a high probability of overtrading. And I say that as my personality. If I'm seeking one move that's happening over the course of the intraday, bro, I'm good. There's really no reason for me to overtrade. That was honestly how I solved my overtrading problems. It's funny because the Bible says, I was told the Bible says that something about not trying to fight lust, but fleeing from lust. And it was very similar with overtrading. Like, I had to stop trying to fight it, and I tried to flee from it. My motto became something that I was looking for a specific opportunity, and if that opportunity wasn't there, there's no reason to participate in it. So that eliminates a lot of overtrading for real. Still a beginner, only take 2 max a day. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. When I was a beginner, I had that rule set up. I had that rule drawn on my chart. I had that rule on my wall, a sticky note, all type shit. But I was bugging out every single day, bro. I remember when I got my first funded, I was so excited, but I knew deep down inside I didn't deserve it because I gambled my way there. And then when I lost it, I cried. It's over 50 a day, but he's like 40 years of trading. That nigga ICT, 50 a day is nutty. It is possible. It is possible. I know that. 0 over 3. That's some wrong shit. Cool. It is possible. I like the one trick pony, and I've mastered it. Everything that happens in between is nada, nothing. Man, if we would have came home with that 1 to 10 on Friday, and then cooked up this move as well, there's still a chance that I take this on a funded. I'm waiting on 10 a.m. news. It would have been an insane dynamic right here. I'm trying to decide whether I want to close this once we hit the daily, or if I want to hold it until we reach the POI inside of the daily. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, bro. They're the best for me. And there's something about when you enter and you're at the bottom of the wick on a higher time frame. There's still a chance that I enter on my funding. Yo, Bravo, it got a crown next to your name with the number 1 on it. It says you got 75 XP. What does that mean? Yo, Tawa got 25. Yo, Bravo, is this you in your profile picture? Or this random profile picture? Damn, we taking off. I didn't want to see this take off yet. Just yet. Twitch chat word. Yo, it's good. It's weird, bro. Now I know who I'm talking to a little bit more. The internet is such a strange thing. I'm gonna try to anticipate where 10 a.m. is gonna drop down to. It's right here. This is another one of those unicorn levels. Easy and simple. If we only drop in here though, I'm not interested in entering on my funded. I'm not gonna lie. But I will enter on this. This won't pass the account. This will only clear us about 800. Which is fine, that's good. But you know, I'd rather pay activation fee today. If you ever go on Reddit or Facebook or apps like that aren't mainstream scrolling apps, the communities for day traders, specifically ICT. Hey, Bravo, would you classify yourself as an ICT trader, technically? The communities for these types of traders, they're just like so out the loop. A lot of the time, you'll see they're from other countries or just people that somehow landed there, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, that's a whole untapped market. I think I'm about to try and educate a little bit. YouTube is awesome. But if I can get these guys to come to YouTube, A, I know I can help them a lot. And B, I know they help me a lot. Win-win. I consider myself a candlestick trader. how would you define a candlestick trader, brother? I mean, technically, you are a candlestick trader, but yeah, I don't know, bro, because I don't know how you trade. Who am I to say anything? I've never sat there and watched you trade. I feel like we gotta come up with a cooler name than a candlestick trader, though. I don't know. I wouldn't really exactly consider myself an ICT trader either. I've just kind of grabbed what works. News come out in 2 seconds. See what happens. We, yo, come on, bro. See if we can dip down into here. I need to see ES as well. There's S&T all over the highs. There's nowhere for us to reverse, so we must trudge higher. By the time that we get up here, there will be nowhere to go but higher. If we come into this level, that would be legendary. We also have another one here, though, so we'll keep that in mind. When it comes to ES, I don't really see a level. Yes, I do. Peep out, this unicorn level is everywhere. And I only call it a unicorn level because in reality, I haven't figured out what to name it for myself yet. I don't want to sit here and call it a unicorn model. I want to see if price can come back into this right here. Let's see what the other trader's talking about. I don't got TikTok on my phone, but so you really only use like the last candle in a higher time frame. I'm assuming that means like the daily. If it had a liquidity sweep, the liquidity doesn't matter when it was made. It could be previous day or previous month. And then I'm assuming you drop down to the lower time frame inside of that hourly wick or that higher time frame candle wick, find your PD ridge. And so you look for a liquidity sweep before you enter on the 15-second. I've never heard anybody using the 20-minute candles, bro. Not saying anything bad about the 20-minute candle. Oh, it matters, bro. It daily matters, even if you can't hold overnight. But if it's working for you, bro, don't listen to me. Listen to anything I'm saying. Did you put that model together yourself? So NQ is traded below the level that's up there. I'm anticipating we draw towards the orange lines, which is going to make ES draw towards that most recent 5-minute BISI and the gray lines that we have annotated. This does not work for New York session. Of course it does, bro. It's for slow and long chop. Oh, I think I understand. Wait, so what are you doing in New York session then? These badass SMT. Unorthodox. I'm okay with it because it's an eval. Yeah, bro. Nasdaq is fucking aggressive. Alright, cool. I mean, I don't want to ever make you change up your whole strategy or whatever, bro. Whatever you're trading. But I will say the model that I'm trading and the perception that I've learned to view price through is elite. It is very much elite. And I can show you the data behind it. I can call out these moves live and have a strike rate with you guys. I can say we're going here to there. You'll see eventually. But it all revolves around quarterly theory. Like, you really don't have to be here. If you learned quarterly theory and put it on top of whatever you're playing, trading with right now, you'd ascend for sure. The only thing with quarterly theory is most people just see it and are like, oh, sequential SMT here. This is regular SMT. Or they see, oh, we got SMT on the highs right here. We should be trying to short. A year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I'm not sure how long ago, I would have been shorting this, and I would have felt like I get stopped on it when this high gets ran out, because this high is going to get ran out. because I didn't understand the PD array matrix, the hierarchy that goes behind it. If you look back at my old videos where I'm doing D1 through D30, day 1 through day 30, I was getting the funded and trying to get a payout with it. I was only using SMTs, no PD arrays. Go straight to day, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Let's look this up. Videos. This looks like exactly what I studied right here. You can put him on 2x speed because Day's voice is OD monotone. Like, I know mine is monotone. No, this dude's voice is. You'll fall asleep. I'm not sure if I can put this in the comment section for you, but if you want it, you'll find it, bro. I learned it from him, but the thing is, where most people, okay, so Day has a student, and I forget his name. I'm terrible. Jacob Speculates is his student's name. And Jacob Speculates found out another type of SMT. He found this out through studying with Day. Now, I only know Jacob Speculates because I was studying Day so hard that I found this type of SMT by myself. Jacob Speculates was the only person that I could find in the fucking world that was talking about this specific type of SMT, and I wanted to learn more. So what did I do? I went and bought Jacob's mentorship. I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know from Jacob's mentorship. Jacob's mentorship just had a bunch of people who weren't putting in the work. What I'm getting to is, you can study that, but you're gonna have to collect the data on it, because there's no way that in 30 videos he can go over all of the possible circumstances. Sometimes you're gonna see things that confuse you, and hopefully it's a market replay while you're collecting data, and you take note of those things and allow them to play out, so that those or similar situations don't catch you off guard live. Because like I said, quarterly theory technically says, yeah, we should be shorting right now. But if you look at the actual charts, candlesticks, like you said, there's no way we're about to short. We could, but it's very, very, very unlikely. So then you take that along with this quarterly theory, and it's like, okay, it blends into this model that I have here. And then even with my entry model, it's a little bit of quarterly theory. It's SMTs and change in state of delivery. I don't know, but it's a lot. Somebody asked me the other day, why did I change my model? This model is just way better. I can go for 1 and 3s, but it offers me 1 to 10s and up. And for those, I need to be on point. But for the 1 to 3s and 1 to 4s, 1 to 5s, I don't really need to be on point for it. I can enter late. So, yeah, learn from Day. I also have a lot of knowledge with it, and tons and tons and tons of data on it. So, you have perfect resource, bro. I think no, that wasn't you. Hit me on the gram. That was E1. But you can always hit me on the gram. crazy because usually I'd be like, all right, we're not doing anything, time delay, etc., etc. But in reality, ES is going to drag NQ higher. It has to, because ES has nowhere to go. I'm going to drag this out just so that we can pay attention to it. But that's not really of my concern. If we look at NQ, this daily is still being used as resistance. But I believe it will trade above it. And that is also a factor in why this small chop is taking place. Like I said, it's thick. And ES leads NASDAQ, not necessarily. It's a little bit more resistance. So what I mean by lead in NASDAQ is these assets both have a pull over each other. So imagine, okay, it's easier to imagine that ES is in a state of free fall than this right here. Let's do this. I wonder if this is possible. 1 second. Let me see if I can make this much easier to understand. You know what I'll do? I'll do this. I can rotate it. Is it going to let me rotate it? It might not let me rotate it. Alright, well, just imagine this was upside down. Just imagine we was bouncing off of this PD array, and there is no PD arrays that offers enough support to stop us from dropping until we reach here. ES is going to be sliding so fast, or sliding so strong, dropping so strong in a state of free fall to the point where it's going to influence the NASDAQ. Even if the NASDAQ has a PD array in between, what will happen is NASDAQ will bump at that PD. If it can't go past it, it'll bump at that PD array until ES reaches this. You can invert scale right bottom hand corner in settings. My guy. So even though we're not in a state of free fall, we're in a state of like free rising. It's gonna pull NQ. NQ doesn't have a choice. You can see it tried to resist, but it doesn't have a choice. Now once both of these assets reach a POI, which could be this and this daily here, we've somewhat synced back up. And it's little stuff like this, Bravo, that you'll get the data for it. I have a video about that as well. But this right here is my Notion journal. And all that I'm doing with this is the same thing that I do when I'm collecting data. Just when I'm collecting data, I annotate interesting things. Like, I have some PDFs of my notebook. I also still have most of my old trades from the year of 2023 when I was just learning anything about ICT. I'll show you. So like, stuff like this. I had no idea what I was doing. What even is this? Like, look at this stop loss. Look at this stop loss. That's just not how I trade anymore. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful thing, though. It's a beautiful thing because this shit is like a living, breathing organism. So, but once you learn its breathing patterns, and you know when it's going to be moody, you know when to take advantage of it and when it's most likely to take advantage of you. Slay dragons every day, bro. So, like I said, this is almost definite that this high was getting rare now. And I believe it's a new, what is this? Look like just a candle missing. And if we just, that'd be fine. That'd still be a $1,200 day on the funded. Well, actually, this is 10 a.m. low. So realistically, this has become the stop now. Oh shit. 10 a.m. low. But it damn sure ain't no 1 to 14 though. Yeah, bro, the thing is, like, alright, so I've studied this immensely. When it comes to placing stops, there are certain highs and lows that aren't going to get violated if the move that we're looking to participate in actually happens. It happens every once in a while. Like, I don't know if you were in the live, what was that, last week on Tuesday? We were right on the money. And we put our stop in the right place. But time distortion, we got stopped out. The same entry on ES didn't get stopped out. So it happens sometimes, but there are certain highs and lows that literally should not be ran. And those highs and lows are the ones that are influenced by the liquidity injection. Because the liquidity injection causes the manipulation. So once the manipulation happens, big money's getting in. Big money's not going to stop itself out. That's why I say the 10 a.m. candle now. We're only going to take out that 10 a.m. low now that we're sure that it's put in, because it's a swing low on a 5-minute chart and it's almost 10:30 already. We're not going to take that out until we reach a certain objective. So that's a safe stop. 9:30, you'll notice I could have an SMT up here, somewhere in here, and still not enter until up here. But my stop isn't going in that SMT. My stop is going at the very low, because that's the low of the range that the liquidity injection created. That's what I've determined for myself. The swing low inside of the specific POI is the safest stop. Everything else ain't really too safe. And Bravo, take my opinion with a grain of salt, because I haven't tested further than that, because I haven't needed to. I decided to just not make it any more complicated than that. So, right now in the eval, I wish we would have got in down here, but it's all good. We make the right moves this week, we'll bring the funded out of drawdown, possibly put some on a buffer, and pass this account as well. I've lost plenty of trades due to fucked up stop loss placement too, bro. Because back in the day, I would just look for a fair value gap. Once I see the fair value gap, I'm just kind of putting my stop wherever. It was kind of sloppy. It's a terrible thing to do, though. That real entry would have been so beautiful, though. This shit could have been so magnificent, my guy. And this is possible as well. What I'm gonna do is put an alert on ES when we reach this. That way we can focus on NQ. Should be here. Busy here. Possible inception to terminus. Inception to terminus. Yeah, I've traded gold, and it definitely has a different feel to it. Gold feels like NASDAQ is heavily manipulated, but it's manipulated in a way that I've learned to anticipate. Though gold and silver feel like aliens to me. When I was most profitable, I traded gold and silver and NQ and ES. I would switch between them depending on which one was most probable for the day. I would annotate each of them before I went to sleep the previous night and all the possible scenarios that could happen. And I would cook. But I just never felt safe on it, even when I cooked. Easy for swings, but I cannot understand what's happening on the lower time frame. What do you mean, bro? Like, easy for swings, but can't understand what's happening. Like gold is easy for swings, but you can't understand what's happening on the lower time frames on gold and shit. 3 days to a week trade. Yeah. I can't wait to hit the gym. Hey, Bravo, should I count this trade towards my track record? I low-key don't want. said, only you would know if you're stretching yourself too thin. But what I will say is, if there is a session that is the most convenient to you, I would learn to master that session. Mario trades London. I've traded London maybe 30 days out of my life. 30 complete days. And these concepts do work in London. My mentor, he started off in London. For Asia, I don't know. I have no idea about Asia. Fat dog, you gotta move, man. If you feel like you're stretching yourself too thin, you might be. But one thing I will say is, if you want a high probability session, New York, bro. It might not be stretching you too thin learning multiple sessions. It might be stretching you thin trying to learn multiple assets. Yo, you snorting all in my microphone again. Go over there. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. Yeah, don't listen. Move, man. So I beat you up. Go. Bravo, what makes you ask that? Like, what does that question stem from? Finally some movement. I'm gonna assume ES began expanding out here too. Not yet. We'll see how it goes. So it's not stemming from like any type of self-doubt or feeling that you actually are stretching yourself thin. It's not stemming from any type of being overwhelmed. It's just a genuine, innocent, authentic question. I just want to make sure, bro. Because if I can help, I can help. Bad dog. I got this whiteboard. I'm about to set it up today, and I have no idea what I'm gonna put on it. I don't know at first. Yeah. Because, bro, like, there's certain things that you can't skip. You gotta feel the pain, bro. I ain't gonna lie, like, if you were writing a superhero story, better yet, a supervillain story. His activity is gonna be completely justified. Once you bring up all of the things that he's experienced in his past. It's the same thing with a hero. In that story, bro, you'll give him the hardest situations that the reader is gonna be like, damn, bro, this nigga went through it. For real, for real. He didn't sim trade at all. He could have taken the easy route, but he didn't have the option to. He had to trade real money. So he felt every loss. He He strategy hopped. He felt so lost. Like, he was caught in a vicious cycle. Bro, but at the end of that story, whoever that villain or that hero comes out to be, he's a beast. Because he was put through the ringer. I don't know, bro. If you have the capacity to trade all day, and that's what you want to do, who am I to tell you not to? But it's important to remember, only 1% of people consistently make money in this joint over the course of a long span of time. Let's just say that. And because of that, it's important that the only things that you're participating in are high probability setups. If you feel like you can find them all day with a certain model and know that it'll take decades of work to master that, it might be worth it for you. But know that you don't have to do that. Damn, bro, I'm grateful I could help. I really am, yeah. I don't know. Half the time I don't remember what I say in these YouTube videos. I feel like it's knowledge that I know, but I'm more so being spoken through. So when I say I'm grateful I can help, I mean like I'm grateful to be the mediator for real. Because I'm still learning myself. I'm glad you got together though, bro, because yo, when you know that when you know better but you're not doing better, it is fucking emotional, bro. Oh God, like it made me hate myself for a minute. For a moment, it made me hate the way I was raised. It made me hate that I even started this shit. Eventually, it becomes under control. It's funny that you got it under control via the pain. I only got it under control when I removed myself from the situation, similar to what I was saying with lust. Instead of looking for just a fair value gap and this and that, and liquidity sweep, that shit happens all the time. I just looked for one specific move. What do you mean 100x trading, bro? Finally touched this daily. I'm gonna anticipate a small retracement, but that we trudge through it. Reason being, ES has still yet to tap anything. Let's see where we are in terms of profit. $1,000. Oh, you started with 100x leverage? How you, oh, yo, where'd you start in, wait. Where did you start on CFDs? I can't remember when the industry changed. I was there for it. It was either 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I don't know. Small retracement. Let's see where it's Bitcoin. Yo, that's wild, bro. So you had Bitcoin from years ago that turned into a certain amount of money, and 2 years ago, and then you use that money to learn how to trade. Because you're like, damn, I made this much money from letting it sit here. Let me actually learn how to use leverage instead of contracts. Yeah, that's out my league right there. I have no idea anything about that. I want to be careful. NQ don't have any real POIs besides this one on the lower time frame. ES got this one, and got this, but NQ would have to travel damn near back to where we started at. Thing I need to be concerned about though, if we end up taking out this cycle on ES, 1, 2, 3, 4, we will have a monthly SMT again, but we will need the activation cycle. What's this? Weekly, monthly. It'll get tricky. Monday, 27 high, I'm not sure what you mean, bro. Oh, Monday the 27th high. I'm tripping. See, now, here's a scenario that has happened a few times to me, but I have not taken notes on it. And I need to stop doing that because when it happens, I literally have no idea. I haven't figured out how this works yet. So, once we take out this SMT, this SMT is the cause and the root of why I'm trading in the direction that I'm trading in today. If ES manages to take this out, where is the next SMT at? There'd be SMT with this, but we'll need an activation cycle as well. That leads me to look at this cycle here, which is this. Would it still be considered intact if we ran up and took this out? I don't know. I have no idea. Similar to this. This is all SMT. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go sit down and tear this apart. And then I'm gonna have to reference it to old data, because that's the only thing that's gonna make it make sense. I'm gonna change up my target because we have this 4 hour here. I'm gonna annotate it with buy side. Drop to a 15-minute, and I want to see a specific POI. The specific POI ends up being this again, but maybe not. Yeah, this is the only specific POI that I can see. Ain't nothing really here. So, I mean, low-key, we can anticipate that we're gonna run all the way up into here. because there is no PD arrays inside of this daily that are really valiant enough to smack us down up until we get here. So I was been supposed to be screen recording, but yeah. Shit. Yeah. Activation cycle. Yo, if you don't use SMT already, that's a whole new world for you to crack open, bro. SMT is mandatory. The reason why SMT is mandatory is because you'll start to notice that before we make a move in this market, there's SMT there. And SMT is oftentimes the manipulation. It's not always the manipulation, but it always has something to do with the manipulation, which happens before every expansion. The only reason we're trading higher right now is because price needed to attempt to create SMT. It needed to attempt to create a cracking correlation between these assets. Now that's viewing it with the logic of QT. The actual reason why, to the people who create this algorithm and are in a server room with this shit, typing in the code and whatever it looks like, I don't know. I don't know why we're going up. But I know through the logic of QT, this is why we're going up. And this logic of QT is the closest thing accurate, the closest thing to being in that server room. To me. Everybody has a unique model, bro. I'll make a video on it. Because there's a lot of things that people from QT don't speak about. In reality, I think they just don't want people to know, or they don't know themselves, because they haven't put in the work. But we're calling out the tops and the bottoms of moves consistently already. You can see that. Wouldn't be able to do that without QT. $1,500. What do we got? Another 100 points, so could be a $2,000 day. Got a dollar bill in my pocket for no reason. What does this mean? Just found a dollar bill in my pocket. What does this mean? Where the camera at? Yo, come on, bro. I don't know, man. I knew it. Soeptis. I don't know what that means. Big openings. Trading stocks looks even crazier. I don't know nothing about it, bro. Eventually, I am going to get into trading stocks and things like that because I want my mother to be able to snipe entries into her 401k. I see my mentor do that. What was that, last year? Maybe the year before that. 2025, I want to say. When we had that crazy drop, bro. Like, the insane drop. And it happened over the course of like a couple months. Bro sniped a 401k entry at the fucking bottom, bro. I was like, damn. So I've yet to start my 401k. I don't really believe in that shit, but my mother do, so. Enter into that 4-hour SIBI. Let's see how it goes. And PayPal ES is like stalling right before reaching that. That's not by coincidence, that's by design. I'm usually off here by now, and I am going to get off here in 5 minutes or so. And the rest of this trade will be captured and put in the vlog. But I'm glad that we got most of this trade in this video. Who the fuck is me fucking with? I'm the fucking boss. Bro, honestly, this not even an insane trade. Like I said, bravo, the real entry was supposed to be down here, but since ES didn't come into my specific POI, I didn't want to put any risk on my actual funded. But this, you're gonna see, bro, this is what's possible. And I appreciate you. And if you have any questions regarding Day, hit me up on Instagram. And if I don't get back to you ASAP, I will get back to you, bro, I promise. And what I'll also do is I'll start creating content about quarterly theory to help you understand. So we just tapped into that 4-hour SIBI, rejecting it. I want to play it careful here. And one way that we can do that is by checking to see if this new week opening gap has a POI in it that is worth, that has some substance to it. This is an unmitigated gap. Cool, looks like we've traded above that. Now the only thing that catches my eye is this unmitigated gap. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump to the 15-minute before I call that. The only thing that catches my eye. This catches my eye as well, but 5 minutes is cleaner. Yeah, no problem, bravo. Appreciate you, dog. And peep how I said, like, swing lows that form in a POI, they come out after a volatility injection, don't get ran. If we look at 9:30, swing high, volatility injection, didn't get ran. 9:30, swing low, volatility injection, didn't get ran. I'm not gonna keep going back, but you can see. And honestly, bro, I'm not gonna make the same mistake that I made on my funded. Once ES taps this new week opening gap, I'm gonna close the trade. And I'm not gonna be greedy, I'm just gonna go about my day. It's simple. And I'll try to make this a habit, securing profits. Let's go ahead and do that while we at 1500. Smooth little day, bro. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm about to pick up this camera. Get this vlog started, hit this gym, go about the rest of my day. We got plenty to do. Catch y'all on the vlog. Catch you on the vlog, Bravo. I think you're the only one that was in here. I'm grateful for you, bro. Catch you tomorrow, most likely. Actually, let me update this real quick before I do anything. And to be honest, this was only like 1 hour for real. Max 2. I'm gonna say 2. Round it up. Oh shit. I ain't gonna do that. There we go. Alright, cool. Peace, brother, man.